Welcome to Wisdom Exchange TV. My name is Suzanne S. Stevens, Chief Edge Optimizer for the Ignite Excellence Group of Initiatives. One of our initiatives is the Ignite Excellence Foundation, where we invest, inspire, and develop future leaders in emerging countries. With that spirit, we produce Wisdom Exchange TV, where we interview pioneers, trailblazers, leaders of many, all over Africa, who are philanthropists, political leaders, business leaders, and educators. Today we're in Toronto, Canada, with a Ugandan business leader, Suzanne Muhwezi, the Senior President Advisor of AGOA Trade-related matters for Government of the Republic of Uganda. Amongst many other involvements, she also owns 2 boutique hotels in Uganda, and it is an absolute pleasure to meet you in my city. So welcome so much, and thank you, Susan, for taking the time with us today.
Thank you very much, Suzanne. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
You know, there's so many things that you do. I'm going to start focusing first of all on hotels. What was the catalyst to get into the hotel business in the first place?
It started like how many things start, as a desired dream. I used to travel with my husband when he's a member of parliament and he was doing his political campaign. So we'd drive about 300 kilometers to go to our country home. And there was this little boutique hotel, very run down. It originally actually it was a motel belonging to a petrol station that was owned by an Italian company. So when they left, this was taken over by someone else. So we would stop. And every time I would tell my husband, I wish I could own this hotel. You know, things start as a dream. So, but it looked like they're not selling, they're not moving out. So finally they advertised it. I must say my husband helped me acquire it. We acquired it together. And then wanted to make it not a big hotel, because sometimes big hotels don't have a character. And the fact that it was on the road was more of a stopover hotel. But I wanted to improve on accommodation, produce good food for people that are traveling. And so I started developing it.
Some of the obstacles of starting a boutique or hotel, or any hotel for that.
I didn't have enough money. I wasn't working then. Only my husband was supporting the family. I had small children. So where do you turn? I turned to the bank. But you need collateral to go to the bank. My mother was always a businesswoman. So she had dedicated us and she had supported us, and I saw her work hard. So I got a title from her. We put it in a bank, got some money, and developed this hotel. It's quite a distance. It's about 3 hours drive from where I live. So what do I need? A good team people, a good manager as well. So my first start was to source for a manager. And I wanted someone who was honest. So I got someone from South Africa. And we opened with very little funds. But before I knew it, because of the standards and the quality and the kind of people that I recruited then, it was thriving.
You know, you've mentioned sort of 2 things that are really important there. What are some of the other obstacles when starting a business like this?
Of course, you know that a hotel is service. And you need good waitresses, you need good people to work, you need a good chef. And sometimes in our countries, you don't have those services. For example, we don't have a training school. Because you have also to look at which country I come from. I come from Uganda, which for many years had instability. So we didn't have, like how you have in my neighboring country, Kenya, there's a service school called Utali. So it's very hard to get manpower. So you need good people. You need to be different. Someone is traveling, wants a quick sandwich or a quick meal. So that was one of the challenges. But also getting a loan because you are going to build. So the grace period is not there. You get a loan, they start charging you interest. So you have to do it fast. And so you have to be there. So I was on the road all the time, trying to make sure that I finish in the shortest possible time and then start making money.
Well, which sort of leads to a really important question. Like, you were 3 hours away, but did you find that you needed to be on site quite a bit, particularly
at the beginning? Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I needed to be there because not everybody is honest. So you have to make sure that they're doing the right job, that they're doing it the way you want it to turn out. So I had to be there in the initial renovations and building. Then for some of the things, they were not in my country. I had to travel outside the country, like to purchase a state-of-the-art kitchen. So I had to go out of the country. So you kind of at the beginning have to be with your business, in your business. You can't, there's things you can't delegate.
Now, you mentioned the gap that there is no service university in Uganda. And I will mention, just because I've interviewed Zulfat, who runs their Rwandan Tourism University in Rwanda as well. So there are now these opportunities where you can get staff.
Yeah.
But where did you get your staff then?
Catering schools in Uganda, except they were not up to the standards. Even at Makerere University, they teach tourism and hospitality industry. But sometimes when people finish, they want to work in the city. They don't want to go outside the country. You know, they outside the main cities. This is 2.5 miles away, 300 kilometers away. So you find that most people, I think even here in Canada, people want to work in Toronto, but to move away from Toronto.
Yeah, particularly to your point, if you've been educated in that, so you want to try to get to the best hotel rather than a boutique hotel.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So how did you get those people?
First of all, you motivate them, you pay a little more, you show the benefits, because there are benefits in working in a smaller hotel that you don't get in a big hotel. Sometimes in a big hotel you're just a number. But when you're in a small hotel, you're like a family. And there's a benefit of working in a family. The problems get addressed better. You're training because you are kind of in touch with your employee, the one who employs you. So it's easier. And with time, people learn that sometimes. And the cost of living outside the main city is lower. So there's value when you get a salary.
They're all really good advantages and benefits. So how did you create the culture of family so that not only were you making the promise, but you were actually delivering on it?
I said certain things that I can do for you. If you work at my hotel, after you've been working for a year, I send you out training into the hotels, because being a member, because I started out as a member of the Uganda Hotel Owners Association. I've been a vice for the last 2 terms. So I know most of the owners of the big hotels. So that connection, I can send you out to train in a Serena, in a Sheraton. So it's a lot easier for you.
Now, how do you maintain the level of service at your boutique hotel?
By listening, by having my ear on the ground, by listening to my customer, to my client. There's a box, a suggestion box. There's a book which we pass around to the clients and the guests. And I'm online. I'm on telephone. I get trip advisories for the people who stop over. So I'm online. I'm able to monitor what people say about the hotel, about the food, about the accommodation, about the public relations, about how they are received at my hotel. So I have my ear on the ground, even if I don't live in the same town where my hotel is. But I get phone calls. We passed your motel. The food was not great today. It was not as clean as it should be, you know. And that's positive criticism. Oh, I like, that's positive criticism. I like when you say, oh, the food was beautiful. But I know it can never be like that all the time. So sometimes I say, And some of them are my friends, so they call. So I get feedback through feedback from my clients.
Which is wonderful. Now you bring up a real excellent point about TripAdvisor, because some hotels or any service industry, that can make you or break you.
I know.
Let's say you receive a comment that is not very pleasing on TripAdvisor. What is your response to that?
One, I pay attention to it. I get back to my hotel, to my manager, to my public relations and marketing person, because I must say in all these areas I'm employing someone. I have a marketing manager who is based in Kampala, and her part is to follow what those TripAdvisor is. So I get back to my hotel, confirm that this is what truly happened. Sometimes they deny, sometimes they agree that it did happen. Then I get on and apologize if it was a wrong part of service for the hotel, whichever area it was in. I make an apology, and I promise that we are going to improve on it, and I make sure that we improve on it.
So you as the owner actually respond to it?
I respond because that carries more weight. Because when your manager responds, if I'm this is what I would expect if I was staying, like I'm staying at the Fairmont Royal Oak. It might not be the owner because it's a big hotel, but I would still love to hear from someone who I know can make a difference. And remember, I'm in a competitive world because I'm a boutique hotel.
Good advice too, because there's a big difference. I agree with you. Big difference that if I see the owner replying, this is someone who's going to make a difference.
Yes.
You're a senior president advisor at AGOA and trade-related matters for the government, and a pioneer in that area as well, being the first woman to do that. How important is that role to the success of your hotels?
I think it helps me to deal with people, because when you are an owner, you have people who look at you from that level. But now when you're trying to promote people, you have to come down to their level. You kind of become a servant leader, and so it brings another area. I get to meet so many people. This is something that I was passionate about, hotel and tourism and service industry. I was passionate about it. But being someone who's trying to promote products, to get out of Uganda to United States, one, I have to learn the expectations of United States. That already helps me increase on standards. So I aim for excellence, so to speak. So, and then you are building up something, you're networking. And it's the same networking that will actually make people come to your hotel. Because first of all, when I go to promote a product, in a way, I have to speak beyond being an AGOA advisor. What many people will say, what's your business? What do you do? Hotel services. And in a way, I think that has helped me both in leadership and in promotion of a product, because tourism and services are a product too. It's like developing a leather sandal. You have to know your business.
Now, do you find that at your hotel that you do get a lot of international people?
Yeah, because remember, if you know the thing about hotels, it's location. If you're going to start building a hotel, the first question, they say ask yourself the first 3 questions. And when you want the answer, it's location. So my hotel is a gateway to many tourist attractions. It's on the way as you go to do gorilla trekking, you can stop over. As you proceed to Rwanda, another country, as you go to the Rwenzolis mountains of where there are snow-peaked mountains. So people stop over. So, and who stops over? The international tourists as well as the domestic people.
When you decided to run, I'm not sure if it's run for this position or for AGOA, what was it that you thought to yourself, why you wanted to do that?
Actually, I didn't run for it.
Okay, that's what
This was an appointment by His Excellency the President. I didn't run for it. But when it came, I embraced it, and I've tried to give it my all. Because I like working with people. And you find that the main people that are actually developing products are the women, the grassroots women, And I just love working with them.
So it is a bit of a departure, though, from running a hotel, although you can learn a lot, as you mentioned, from interacting with your clients from the U.S. that may come through your hotel. But it is a little bit of a different focus.
It is a little bit of a different focus, but who serves in a hotel? People. Right from the gardener, to the person who cleans the rooms, to the chef, to the waiter, to the waitress, and you have the skilled manpower, you have those that are unskilled, and people need training, people need to be developed to give you the best. So it's a departure, and then when you go to product development, you meet, the owners of these companies, because it's not like I own the companies, they have their owners, people who are dealing in food processing, people who are dealing in leather products, people who are dealing in crafts. They're people. So you have the top leadership, but if you really want success, you go down to know who they deal with as owners. And I've been blessed in a way that when I visit most of these companies, their directors want you to meet the people they work with. I've met the women who are making these crochet hats and crochet bow ties, who had been affected by the war, and they had been taken by Lord Resistance Army as abductees. I've heard their stories. I've heard what this business has helped them achieve, like educating their children, overcoming the trauma of the war. It's like a family. You know that some of the people you employ are struggling to educate their children. Some are young students going to get married. Some are students who were orphans. So, in a way, it's kind of related, because the major thing, you're working with people.
So let's talk about that. Again, my name is Suzanne Stevens, and I co-produce Wisdom Exchange TV alongside my husband, Michael K. Ginrick. We do travel all over Africa. We just happen to be in Toronto right now, interviewing pioneering women. If you know a woman we should interview, please email us at info@wisdomexchangetv.com. Also, please like our fan page, Wisdom Exchange TV, as we update there regularly, as well as our homepage. We syndicate blogs, so please, there's new information there. Comment on the site. And lastly, I want to leave you with my words of wisdom. We talked a lot about participating in associations, and Susan gave us some really good insight to the value to participate in an association, not only for your personal capacity building, but also you can make a difference to the policies in your country and in your industry. So if you haven't participated yet, you do not know what you're missing. I recommend you try it and be active participant. Thank you for joining us.